Shalom Israel, Shalom, it's your brother Malak. Hopefully everyone is doing wonderful today. I want to get into this discussion, family, and it's dealing with the Black Lives Matter movement. And hopefully I can make sense of this here. Before I get into this discussion, let me start off by giving all glory and honor to the creator of the universe, Heavenly Father Yah, and to his son, Hamashiach Yeshua. Now family, I understand the premise behind Black Lives Matter. I get it. But one thing that we as a people have to realize is we have a nationality that has been stripped from us. That's number one. And that nationality and that covenant is through this book. Our people really are anti-Bible or anti-Torah. And the thing about it is our people have made a covenant with everybody besides the covenant that our forefathers have made with the Most High Yah. And now we have organization like the LGBTQ community that really is trying to be the face of Black Lives Movement, which is also really the main people behind this is white supremacy. Because again, we as a people, especially if those that really believe in this book, because our people in mainstream religion, they say they believe in the book, but they will not do anything in this book. And this is why they don't come against people with alternative lifestyles that are abominable in the eyes of the Most High. So anyway, dealing with this here, Black Lives Matter. We as a nation, we abort about 300,000+ babies a year. Little black boys and girls are aborted at the tune of 300,000+ a year. There's several lives and several generations that are lost that cannot be accounted for, that are gone. And if we're going to talk about Black Lives Matter, we need to start there first and foremost, before we can even get to the point about procreating, which is an act that the Most High gave us as men and women to procreate. And two men cannot procreate and two women cannot procreate. So how is it that an organization that promotes those alternative lifestyles, how can they be the face of people or a nation of people when they can't procreate? So anyway, let's get into this here. Let's go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 13. Thou shalt not kill. And that word kill is the Hebrews H7523, which is ratazak, which means to murder, slay, or kill. Now, let's get an understanding, because there's people out there that are real simple. We know nations go to war, but you're not supposed to murder anybody without just cause. You know what I'm saying? You have the right to defend yourself and defend your property, and so on and so forth. But when a nation take up arms against another nation without cause, or if a man just kill a man without cause, that's what it's talking about. And if we want to start with Black lives, we need to start there by making sure that we as a nation are not aborting our children. There was a video that came out a while back with one of the producers of the Sefer Bible, and he even admitted that in his video that Planned Parenthood was designed to target the children of Israel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I find that video, I'll try to put a link in it, or if I'll try to put that video out maybe at a later date if I can find it. But there's supposed to be a video out with him saying that, because again, these people know who we are. They are, these scholars, these biblical scholars know, and they'll put out every now and then they'll put out information you know, letting you know the truth, you know what I'm saying? But again, our people will not listen to the Most High, you know what I'm saying? I mean, anybody reading this book and you looking at the condition of our people and you haven't come to the realization or the conclusion that we are the people of the book, it's just not for you. It's you just want to be stuck in religion, or you just want to be stuck on stupid, like we used to say back in the days, and that's just it. So anyway, let's edify thou shalt not kill even more so, dealing with the subject matter of dealing with abortions. Let's go to Exodus 21 and verse 22. If a man strives and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follows, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judgment determines. Okay, so again, if the woman is pregnant and this man causes her to lose her fruit, causes her to lose that child, punishment is given to this man according to what the husband determines. But now, when we look at this here, this is why this country give these women incentives to have babies and not to have a man in the household. You know, men are not only devalued, but men are stripped of their parental rights. You know, as a father, to make a choice. You know what I'm saying? And again, the seed that's in her womb just don't belong to her. It belongs to that man. That is his seed. But nowadays, people don't look at it like that. You know, they're talking about, well, it's they're trying to see if say that so many weeks that the baby is considered to be a child and they can abort it, or even if they want to abort it, they can abort it. You know, because again, it's to them. If they're gonna have, if these women have these children, have these babies, they don't want the man in their life, you know, because that man is if he's a righteous man of the Most High, he's gonna add value, he's gonna add structure. When I say add value, he's going to, as a righteous man, what he's gonna do, he's gonna make sure that the children are raised up according to the premise or according to the standards that is governed by the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Where we as a nation are going to have these values and have that male guidance where the boys are being raised up as young men, and the girls are going to be raised up as young women. You know, and again, I'm not saying that you know, all these men are so righteous. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is from a righteous man perspective. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these brothers out there, they just want to get these women pregnant, and they're not taking care of the seed. You know, so again, so it's not about just pointing the finger at the women. It's about pointing the finger at the men too, because you know, especially growing up in a broken home, what man that grew up in a broken home, especially if you become conscious, want your children to go through what you went through by not having a father or figure in your life? You know what I'm saying? I was blessed to have uncles and other men in my life to make sure that I don't fall susceptible to the traps of the system. Because again, the system takes the man out of the house. In many cases, a lot of these young men, they grow up with those female qualities, and they take upon these female ways and stuff like that. You know, to the point where not just homosexual, just a homosexual lifestyle or alternative lifestyle, but not being able to stand up and deal with real men issues and stuff like that, or learn the qualities of a man. And you know what I'm saying, being able to not only work with your hands but your mind, and also take care of the things of manly duties. You know, learning mechanics and carpentry and other skills, and taking out the trash and cutting the grass and things of that nature. These are qualities that as a child, that most men that was raised in that kind of environment, it made them more manly. It made them understand the duties and the responsibilities of a man. But when you take those things from these children, from these boys, what happens is these boys, and then you replace them with, dressing them up like little girls in high heel shoes and dresses, and they think that's cute, and they play with baby Barbie dolls and shit like that. These boys take up on those qualities, man, those feminine, that feminine energy and stuff like that. And even dealing with the little girls, they don't see how a man is supposed to love a woman, you know what I'm saying? And or the mother is jumping from man to man to man, and what happens is those little girls begin to take upon those whorish behaviors, like her mother. And a lot of women don't like to see that, but the women in our records, they didn't jump from man to man to man to man. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad. What's sad about this is many people are against polygyny, but they are in serial polygynous relationship from a monogamous standpoint. They go from one person to the next person to the next person to the next person. Serial monogamy. But anyway, I'll do a lesson on that later on. But anyway, let's get back to this here. So taking a man out of the family is one of the things to break down black families. Again, how can Black Lives Matter? Number one, like I said, when the women are aborting the children, and number two, they're taking the man out of the equation, by giving these women Section 8 and other government benefits, food stamps and welfare, and incentivizing them having more children, but without their male counterpart, or without their male companion. Again, it's the wickedness, it's the wicked devices of the system. I'll tell you what, let's do this here. Let's do this here. I want to go to a script right fast. Let's go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the ways of thy path. Because the men are supposed to be the leaders. You know what I'm saying? I've seen and I've heard women say, well, I don't need a man. Or, even to the point where, they put out this spirit, women, women make more money than a man. Women are more educated than men and stuff like that. Being in our captivity, I'm not saying education is not important. What I'm saying is your education should not stop or should not be an obstacle dealing with a relationship. The amount of money you make or you earn should not be an obstacle in a relationship. You should be able to take those tools or those things and build on it for your family. It's not to work against one another. It should work in cohesion with one another. It should work together. But again, we as a people, we feel like the men and the women feel like they're in competition with one another. Instead of going back to what the Most High gave them, the Most High, Hamashiach, the man, the woman, then the children. Again, we're all equal under the law, but there's a standard. There is a standard that the Most High set forth, and until we get back to that foundation, we as a people are going to be destroyed, which again destroys so-called black lives. I mean, people say they believe in the Bible, but this book is very patriarchal, and a lot of people don't like that. Even to the point where these guys, even with the so-called mindset of how can I say it, the black woman is God. God is a masculine principle. God is a feminine principle or feminine quality. You know what I'm saying? So that standpoint, they're even wrong. You know what I'm saying? And for that God, if they want to call the black woman God, for her to bring forth seed, she have to have a man. So she can't produce seed without a man. So again, she can't have a God quality without having the man. So that's even from that standpoint, from that doctrine, they're wrong. But again, this when we look at all these different devices, all these different things that our people or that are against our people, we have to realize that we as a people need to come back to the ways, to the law, statutes, commands of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let me move forward. Let me move forward. Because again, the Most High, He put all this shit together, and we have to go back to get the remedy. We have to go back to what the Most High says, not what we say or what we believe. Let's go to the so-called New Testament, a new renewed covenant. Let's go to Romans. Let's go to Romans 1. Let me see. I wrote it down. I'm trying to think. Romans 1 and 26. My bad. For this cause, God gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use of their bodies. For even their women did change the nature use unto that which is against nature. My bad, Salakia. And my mind is anyway. So the women changed the natural use of their bodies. Change the natural use from which is natural, and that's their bodies. The women were supposed to bring forth seed, are supposed to bring forth babies. Same thing with the men. The men were supposed to bring forth babies. And a lot of times what happens is, when you separate these two, and then you put different obstacles or roadblocks in the way, what happens is the natural use or the natural use or the natural thing to recreate or to procreate is thrown out of the window, And now these women, they want to live alternative lifestyles. Women having relationships with other women, or men having relations with other men. And again, this is going against nature. This is going against what the Most High intended. Again, we have to really understand, if we want the remedy, we have to go back to script. We have to go back to our records. A lot of people believe in this book, but they really don't want to do anything in this book. And this is why there's such a push against the book from all sides. Even those people that say they believe in the book, that really don't really follow anything in the book. Salak. There was an argument a while back, again, dealing with marriage, because again, our people really just, they say they believe in this word, but their actions show otherwise. And this is why I say, because I've heard so many people dealing with this aspect of marriage, and how we as a people, not only in spiritual Egypt, but even in physical Egypt, how our people became a nation. And a lot of people don't really see this here, but I'll do a lesson on this. I'm not going to give it away right now. Some of y'all probably already know where I'm going there with this, but I'm going to leave that alone for another date. I'm going to leave that alone for the next lesson. But anyway, let me read Matthew chapter 19. I'm start off at verse 6. Let me start off at verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? Again, going by what I say, he didn't make Adam and Steve. He made Adam and Eve, or Chua. He didn't make Eve and Mary. He made, again, he made Adam and Eve, But here it is, these people have passed laws or legislation to institute marriage between two men or two women. Even to the point where right now they're passing, I think they already passed a law saying by the time the children make it to 8th grade, they have to take up a curricula dealing with LBGTQ. Again, this is the madness of this place. This is the madness of this place. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's read further. Verse 5, and he said, "For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. With therefore Elohim God has joined together. Let no man put asunder." And again, the Most High instituted marriage, not Rome, not the United States, not the Catholic Church. So the sanctity of marriage belongs to the Most High. It don't belong to the state. It belongs to the Most High. You know. And again, but people say they believe in this book, but they will not do anything in this book. They will find every argument, you know, to do things against the book to make themselves comfortable. Even if I've ever heard people use I forgot the script when Paul says that let every soul be subject to higher power, and they will say that's talking about the government in your captivity. And when we know there's records of our forefathers not following their captives, you know what I'm saying? Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys. Moses renounced Egypt. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on and on. You know, even in Hamashiach time, you know, he said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar, and render unto God what is God." And God created marriage. Caesar didn't create marriage. Even Pilate told the Pharisees to take him and judge him according to your law. I mean, but these people will use these scripts to justify why they don't believe in something or why they don't follow nothing, instead of going by what the book says and use line upon line, precept on precept. The book cannot contradict itself. It cannot. You know, this is why we as a people are constantly destroyed. You know, but again, you know, taking the man out of the house and having the man having his role diminished, you know what I'm saying, is one of those things, again, destroying the black family, the so-called black family, you know, which is the Israelite family, you know. And again, the Most High, he's the one that put the sanctity of marriage together. Matter of fact, let me go to the book of Ezra. Let's go to 2nd Ezra to kind of add to that right fast, which is going to cover two bases. You know, well, cover many perspectives if you really want to look at it. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be offset, and again, and the wild beasts shall change their place, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Again, this goes back again, when you take out a strong male figure in the household and you let these women raise these children up, especially little boys, without a male figure in their life, that what happens? They're little monsters. Now I'm gonna probably have to do a lesson to break down that from a legal standpoint, dealing with monsters, because again, there's a lot that a lot of people don't understand prophetically, dealing from a scriptural standpoint, and from when we look at how these people deal with us as a nation or lack of a nation by taking our name, our surname, and taking our identity from us, and they have dealt with us very, 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 very crafty. You know, so anyway, family, you know, if so-called Black Lives Matter, we have to put things back in perspective and put the man back into his position of authority. Only righteous men, though. I'm not talking about men that don't want to be honorable. I'm talking about righteous men and women. Again, our women don't realize that their value came with virginity, not from going from man to man to man to man. A lot of women don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? They so busy in competition trying to be a man. There's no woman in the Bible that had multiple baby daddies. There's not one. You know, a lot of people are uncomfortable with talking about biblical marriage from a polygyny standpoint, but they, again, like I said before, they will go from man to man to man in a serial monogamous relationship. You know, now again, I'm pro biblical marriage from a monogamous standpoint or from a polygyny standpoint. This video is not about that, but it's about Black Lives Matter. And if anybody really will do their research, and I'm going to do a lesson on it, in the children of Israel's captivity, that's how they became a nation. Let that resonate in your mind for a minute. You know, but anyway, family, with that being said, I'm going to cut it there, and as usual, peace, love, shalom.